Welcome to Stretford. Paddock, today's podcast is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Now more than ever, our internet reliance has been rapidly increasing. We stream our favourite shows, keep in touch with loved ones, and watch podcasts, not to mention, of course, the football. We'd like to think that information is safe, but as our online footprint increases, so does our need for proper internet security. Surfshark is a VPN service that protects your information by encrypting all the data that you send through the internet, keeping anyone unwanted from seeing it. Another great reason to use a VPN service is often when we're trying to stream something from another country, it can be restricted, so you can only view it from that country. However, using Surfshark VPN enables you to view content that is only usually able to watch from different countries, from abroad. So for example, if you've got a show or a game that you want to watch that is only being streamed in a certain country, using Surfshark VPN, that will allow you to watch that. So that can be channels and services such as Netflix, X or Twitter, Amazon Prime, all those different channels and services that you may only be able to watch in different countries. With Surfshark, you can simply solve that problem by changing your location. Also, if you do go abroad, you're on holiday, you're on the beach, and you still want to tune in to the Premier League or to any other services that you can't get while you're abroad, well, changing your location back to the UK and using your normal streaming service will enable that using Surfshark VPN. Currently, Surfshark has an amazing deal on. By using the link in the description and the promo code Paddock, which is pretty easy to remember, Paddock, you get an extra 4 months free. Surfshark also offers 30-day money-back guarantee. So use the link in the description and the code Paddock and you get 4 months free. And don't forget, you also get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Jay's left me again. Left me with him. Been to Japan, have we?
Yes.
Ticked something off the bucket list, have we? Let's do an episode about it, shall we?
You've summed it up.
Yeah, that's
You've absolutely summed it up. It was
on.
Actually Jay's idea to do the bucket list thing, so he still does have his fingerprints on the show, even though he's at the beach with his kids.
Which beach is he at?
I don't know.
Text him.
I don't think he had any signal. He texted me before saying, I've just nipped to get some ice cream. Hope things are going well.
It ain't that hot.
It can't be that hot.
It's not that hot, is it?
Although when
I bet
you're
he's at like Formby or something.
Steve, it's 20 degrees
No,
and sun. It is.
No, I just walked back from the gym, round the corner. It was all right. But it's not. It's official shorts weather.
Yeah.
Not wearing shorts.
It's 20, but feels like 21.
No way.
So it's cooking out
I
there.
might have to get my shorts out. What's tomorrow's weather?
Tomorrow's weather, you're not going to believe it, 19.
It's almost 20.
Almost 20, but it probably feels like 20 if today's anything to go by.
Not 19 forever, though.
No, yeah, because the Sunday it goes down to 11. So you bang on right with your joke. You're very right. We're talking about bucket lists because I feel like you're the sort of person that you're always trying to do new things. You're always trying to push yourself in one direction or another. There's probably a lot of things that you want to do. And if there isn't, there's probably a lot of things that you have done. Because the bucket list is an interesting concept, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've got a lot of goals.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got a lot of experiences I would like to tick off though.
What's the difference?
I think a goal is something you achieve. A bucket list could be like being a hot air balloon over a mountain.
That could be nice though. Have you been in a hot air balloon?
No.
I think they're the most ridiculous form of transport that humans ever created.
Yeah, we're going to go up in there and then where are we going to go? Wherever the wind takes us.
Don't know.
And then we'll land.
Where are you going to land?
Sounds mental.
And also, now there's houses everywhere.
Oh, insurance. I can insure me hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Because what do you do when you, realistically, if you start coming down over a housing estate, you get a little toot-toot on the old fella to keep yourself up a little bit, but you're still going to smash into someone's conservatory, aren't you?
And also, you can, right, okay, we've got, housing estate, right, go back up again. You run out of gas, you are just landing where that thing wants to land.
And also, pylons.
Yeah, pylons are bad. Light aircraft.
Motorways.
Drones. Imagine
the amount of drones nowadays.
Zip straight through a hot air balloon.
Mental.
I can't believe it. And you stood in a wicker basket as well, like a hamper.
Yeah, they didn't even carbon fibre it up. They went, nah, we're good with wicker.
Yeah, we'll turn ourselves into a what's it called that you take out with you? A
picnic basket.
Yeah, we'll turn ourselves into a picnic.
No, picnic basket.
A picnic basket.
Yeah.
And we'll just fly around the UK.
Yeah.
And apparently with the hot air balloons as well, you'll book it in, right, 16th of April, and then they ring you on the 15th and go, it's windy. Can't do it. Let's push it back 3 weeks, and then they ring you again. Windy again. Because you can't. If it's remotely windy or too windy,
but also you need a bit of wind.
There's a real Goldilocks zone.
There is a Goldilocks zone of just enough wind so you end up in like Buxton, but not enough wind that you end up in Bulgaria.
Yeah. Imagine, do you think anyone's ever accidentally just travelled 1,000 miles in a hot air balloon? It must have happened, where someone just completely got it wrong and ended up the other side of the sea.
Wasn't that... I'm going to get this wrong, and it might not have even been real. But the fellow that went around the world in 80 days, Phineas Fogg?
Yeah, something like that.
Was he in a hot air balloon? Or
he was in a hot air balloon.
But
was he even real?
Could be anything.
It could be a Dickens novel, that, couldn't it?
Be, yeah.
But yeah, I've never been in one of them. Would you like to do one of them?
No.
What is on your list then? Talk to me about your list of goals. And I'll match, because I've got a list here of like
there are
the big
a lot
bucket
of
list
like
stuff.
fitness goals. I want to fuck off to a farmhouse somewhere at some point.
Permanently?
Yeah. Like, I would like a house where we go, where's your nearest neighbours? And you go, did you see that hill? Other side of that. That, Stevie's happy.
But what do you do there?
Whatever I fucking want, Joe.
But all right, but you're not having a conversation over the wall? You're not going to a Tesco Express?
No, I only had one neighbour and he fucking died in December that I liked. So the rest of them can fuck off as far as I'm concerned. And I mean proper fuck off, like over the hill.
They're the other side of the hill?
Yeah.
But I just think...
Joe, how happy would be?
You're going to get chickens and stuff?
I would love chickens.
Would you?
Yeah.
Well, what about... Because the chickens are like the perfect beast, aren't they? Because when they're dead, they're delicious, and when they're alive, they're still plopping out little candies along the way.
I don't eat egg.
Oh,
the wife does, and Blake does. Jaden eats them.
Do you eat egg if it's hidden?
Like in a cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. You can. Would you eat a quiche, or is that a step too far?
No.
Where's the line there?
Cake.
Would you eat a souffle? Because they're a bit eggy.
What? No.
Oh shit. Okay, so you got chickens. Would you treat yourself to one of the?
Wouldn't mind a goat.
A goat. They sort of
goats do
out.
parkour as well, so they're fucking ledge.
But what about something that's a bit more relaxing, like a bee?
What? For starters, we're in Manchester. Like, it's your fucking duty to love the bees.
Exactly.
I would absolutely have bees.
A bit of it topiary? No, that's cutting down hedges, isn't it? What's bees?
No
apiary. An apiary.
Is it? Is that what they're called?
Yeah. Get yourself a little.
Just call it fucking bees, mate.
How good would it
Beehive.
be at using one of those big like smoke things to pump bees?
I would absolutely be in my bastard element.
Yeah.
Collecting my own honey.
Got one of those things?
No,
on?
fuck that noise. You get stung. You have bees, you get stung.
Yeah, it's one of that's like a motto of life, isn't it? Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, or look like a complete fucking child molester wearing that whole fucking get-up. No, I'd rather just take a couple of stings.
Okay, so you're having bees. So that's not right. Let me get some of these bucket list things going here.
Yeah, give me because what's on people's bucket list?
Go
honestly,
bungee jumping. No. Why? That'd be fun.
Would it? No, because it's like roller coasters.
Yeah.
They're fucking shit, Joe.
I like roller coasters.
They're shit, Joe.
Why?
Because they're shit.
But it makes your body do movements that it could never do otherwise.
Yeah, just no.
It does though.
All right, it does. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But so does getting the shits. So and I'm not really keen on getting the shits. That's not my bucket list either.
That's number 6 on this list actually. Drink a beer at Oktoberfest.
When did I go to Munich?
Have you done that?
I've been to Munich, not during Oktoberfest though. Is that really a bucket list thing?
Well, I think some of these are. It's on a website that is like a recruitment website. So it'll be stuff like eat shark in Iceland
and write the perfect CV.
Yeah, it literally says find a job you love is one of them. One of them says become a manager. Mentor a young professional in your industry. That's not on anyone's bucket list. Run a marathon, number 56. You gotta want to do that.
I am trying to do Manchester next year. I know you've already just recently ticked that off.
Yeah, ish.
Did it feel like a bucket list thing?
It didn't feel like it felt shit. It was horrible. And I ran it so slowly, but just the amount of time you're on your feet.
Oh, what did you do it in?
Slower than Jim Ratcliffe. That's all you need to know by a long way.
1, he's a billionaire, 2, he's old, and old people are just fucking wired for that shit. So how fast?
It was like 5.5 hours. It was very, very slow. I jogged the whole thing though. That was my only aim. There's no time. I don't want to. My heart rate stayed at about 145 because I just sort of shuffled along. But I didn't walk any. The only time I stopped was for a poo. And that was the best 5 minutes of it, which I mentioned to you last night. That was so good. Sitting in there, just bliss. The wave of pain going through my ankles and like just all going away. Fantastic, and then back out. So I did run the whole thing, but it was slow as fuck.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's like, for me, that's a goal rather than a bucket list.
Yeah. But I think it's the same thing. Bucket list is just a goal before you die, innit? It's been painted as this like swimming with dolphins or whatever.
That can fuck off at all.
Yeah, they're a bit scary though. They try and have sex with people, don't they? Which is a horrible thought. Do you hear about that woman who worked at SeaWorld where basically that to death?
What?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk that fucking dolphins were all fucking Bill Cosbying it up?
I know. It's horrible.
With a pudding pop.
But all animals are.
What, a bit rapey?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a horrible thing to think about, but yeah, it's not. Consent is very much a human concept. Horrible. I saw some ducks once in Clumber Park.
Not with Bill Cosby.
Change your life. Learn to snowboard. You can do that.
Yeah.
Attend the Olympics. Have you done that?
I've been to the Olympics. No.
Would you like to?
What, to go and watch?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching like what everyone else wants to
competing.
watch, like the 100 metres.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good. I'm surprised you didn't go in 2012. I thought you'd be up for that.
Oh, why didn't go on? I think it was one of those when like, there was just no tickets.
Yeah.
Like, what can you go and watch?
We did. We went to do
Proper
we went to see the marathon because it's just through the streets of London, so you can just turn up. But there was a suspicious bag on the side of like, you know, like all those loads of buildings in London have got like pillars everywhere.
Bag?
No, it wasn't. It was a backpack. And when we got there, it was there, and we walked around and came back. And when we got back, like 45 minutes later, it was still there. And we're like, probably not, but let's say something. The police were so just like, what are you on about? Like, there's a backpack there, it's been there for a while, probably nothing, but I don't know, just in case. And they were like, it's fine. Oh, sorry, yeah, cheers, let me just, like, why would I know?
Whoa, say it sorted, mate.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
What's the motto?
Yeah. And, you know, because I think they were all on about, like, red alert, you know, because it's a big event for something like that to happen, but obviously not, they don't even give a shit. What are people's bucket list stuff in the comments? Someone said, a full name Huggy said he's been bungee jumping. I think that's good, that. You've done skydiving, which is like bungee jumping's bigger brother, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I haven't done free fall. I've done static line, which is different. I mean, it's not different, but it is different.
What is that?
Static line, you jump out, it pulls your parachute out for you, and it's deployed already, hopefully. Free fall is you jump out, you fuck about, do some spinning
hold
round
some
and
flares,
stuff like that, yeah.
Like you're on Godzilla.
Hold hands, and then you pull it yourself, hopefully.
Right.
Pause. And then I did have it in my head that I was going to do it this year because there is a weight limit, unsurprisingly, for getting your A license for skydiving.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, because otherwise the parachute has to be so big it'll cover an entire county.
Yeah, it's like the Goodyear blimp thing.
Yeah.
Which is what I would have needed a year ago.
Yeah. The drag is just too much.
I'm under the weight now that I would be able to go and do it. So I was thinking, almost one of my things for a little present for myself for getting under the weight was to go and get my A license in skydiving. It takes about a week or so if you get the good weather, because you got to do 4 or 5 jumps doing everything. So you go out and it's like spin round to the left, pull your chute, land. Go out, spin round to the right, pull your chute, land. Do a somersault, get stable again, pull your chute, land. Yeah. Like it's proving that you can do all of those things.
Is someone on your back during this?
Nope.
So what if you get it wrong?
There's someone going out with you.
Oh right, okay. I was going to say.
But yeah, that it's
like a driving
it's
instructor.
Pretty fucking risky, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you have to do about 20, 25 jumps to get your A license. So I thought I was fully geared up for going and getting it done, and I was like, sweet. But then I didn't realise. I thought I could maybe go and then do like 20 jumps a year, and just sort of maintain currency like that. No, you got to fucking jump. I think it's either every 30 or 60 days.
Really?
And I was like, I can't afford that.
That's too much, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also, why?
Because once you got competency.
Yeah, but once you got, I suppose it's different to a driver's license, isn't it?
A little bit.
But also not. More people die driving.
That is probably a numbers game, I think.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. Yeah, I don't. It says the limit for skydiving is 220 to 250 pounds. I never knew that. I just assumed gravity is gravity, innit?
The place I was going, I think it was 195.
Was it? Are you under that now? What are you now?
194.
It's just by 1. That's pushing the parachute to its limit. I can't do it.
A big poo and a bit real.
I'm about 220 pounds.
Yeah.
I can't believe I weigh 25 pounds more than you now. That's ridiculous, isn't it? You used to weigh 70 pounds more than me. That's absolutely absurd. That's ridiculous. Sean McGrinder says, get a pilot licence. That's cool.
Can't do it. My eyesight's not good enough.
Is it? Why? What, both eyes or like?
No, my right eye's fucked.
Why don't you wear glasses?
1, not being a specky. 2,
sorry.
yeah. What's he going to do? Fight me?
No, not if you take his glasses off.
Poke him in the eye.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's there is a term for it, but it's just...
Astigmatism?
No.
Oh.
It's ocular, obviously, something or other. I can't remember what it's fucking
What
called.
about a monocle? That's cool.
I don't think... I'm working class, Joe. I can't pull it off.
Alright then. What about just a patch?
As much as I love rum, I'm very much aligned myself with the lifestyle of a pirate. I don't really like boats.
Do you not?
Not really, no.
Oh. So, skydive. What else is on here? See a show on Broadway? I bet you've done that. Have you done that?
Not on Broadway, no.
It still counts.
I've done a West End one.
Coach a kids soccer team.
That's on a fucking bucket list, really.
Well, that's on betterup.com.
Fuck off, get a better fucking list. Christ on a bike.
What about this one? Record a music album. Now that I would pay to see. I would love to see that.
No, I haven't done it.
What genre would it be?
What?
What genre would it be if you had to? Because obviously rock and like indie or whatever is the stuff you like. But is it too on the nose and cringy if you actually record the type of music you like? Would you maybe go a bit silly with it? Do a rap album?
Yeah, or parody country.
Yeah, that kind of vibe. So it's a bit, because otherwise it'd just be so cringy. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, you end up like taking yourself far too serious and selling the CDs in Bishop's Place.
I think that'd be really good to see. Write a screenplay. Have you ever thought about doing something like that? Because you do make videos and stuff all the time. Have you ever thought about like trying to get one?
Well, I wouldn't mind doing mini documentaries
release?
in the football kind of realm,
Yeah.
but no, fiction's not really my bag.
No, you're not into fiction, are you? But you could write something about experience and stuff you've done.
Maybe. Any of these that float in your boat or what? Screenplays reeks of you.
I would write a screenplay, yeah. I don't really know what it is. Is it just a film? I'd write a film. Or like a TV show or something.
TV show or
I'd write a TV show. I would do that, yeah.
Go on,
I mean,
pitch it me. You got 30 seconds.
I don't know what it'd be about. It'd probably just be about this.
About a man working in a coffee shop.
A man working in a coffee shop, or what we do. Because I feel like there's never been a proper...
Probably for a reason.
Yeah, it'd probably crap. I'm not saying it'd be good.
All right, fine.
But, you know, say write about what you know, don't they? So I'd write about probably doing YouTube stuff and football and just make it like this, but better somehow. Explore the historic city of Kyoto, Japan. Number 94, my old friend, eh?
Did you go to Kyoto?
Yeah.
Just Tokyo?
Tokyo and Kyoto, and then went to Seoul in Korea. So yeah, I was there last week. Bloody lovely. Although quite busy, bit touristy. I was one of the tourists, so I can't really complain, but...
That's, yeah, Joe, there was some people completely got the fucking wrong end of the stick off, but it is Twitter, so it's kind of par for the course. One of these right-wing grifters had tweeted something like, just met a couple in the airport, they're leaving England and emigrating because they're sick of all the foreigners here, and you're like...
Yeah.
So they're going to be foreigners in another country.
But right. People
ironic.
But people just hate people, don't they?
And then people was like, oh, well, better not claiming benefits. But she didn't say, I'm sick of all the people claiming benefits. No. They said I'm sick of the foreigners. Right? Are you equating both as a universal fucking truth here?
No.
You know what I mean?
People are just idiots, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they just don't like
and
people.
Joe, they're also, as well, not fucking travelled. Because there's not a place in the fucking world you can go to now, outside of, like, top right Siberia, I reckon, where there's not shitloads of tourists everywhere.
Yeah.
Since, like, the cheap air travel, every fucker is everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's nowhere. Where can you go now? And you'd be like, I tell you what, that's exactly like it looked like 200 years ago.
The middle of the Amazon rainforest. But
and even then,
they're not moving there.
And you'd be like, oh, and now there is no rainforest, the fuckers will cut it down.
That's true. Or you go there and you go, they've got a Man United shirt on. And like, there's no part of the world untouched. Like you said, cheap air travel. Well, I shouldn't be able to get to Japan. That should be a 4-month boat journey around the bottom of Africa, around India.
I think it took longer than that. You know?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a year to get to like
Probably.
Australia and that?
And then we've been to Australia and all sorts. So yeah, it's people just like nasty bastards though, aren't they? Who just don't like non-white people, so that's really what it is. And then they pretend it's because of, you know, whatever, people taking benefits. What would you like to do then? What is on your bucket list?
I don't really got anything.
But fitness-wise, there must be.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a stab at an Ironman.
Yeah.
Which is bonkers considering I couldn't fucking run 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind doing an Ironman. Marathon des Sables on there. I think we spoke about that before.
Yeah. Are you going to do that?
I think I am going to do that. I actually think that's easier than Ironman.
What's the difference? Talk me through both for people who don't know.
I think Marathon des Sables is 250 kilometres
Yeah.
across the Sahara Desert. But it's like
don't. But it's like
It's like 50k a day.
But that's a journey that a car can't do.
Right, but it's like 50k a day.
So you have to be harder than a car.
The thing is, right, I know about 12 people, just mates of mine, that have done it, and
But that's because all your mates are like nutters.
there's a little bit of that. But I don't know anyone who's done it and not done it.
Right.
I don't know anyone who's tried it and not done it. It's one of those weird things. Like,
it's horrible, but it's doable.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Whereas
My mate Brian, who did it, he did last year's. The only thing he said was, it was fine. He said, but I wore a black baseball cap and I should have wore a white one. And I was like, that made that much. That was the first thing that come to your head. And he was like, yeah, my head was cooking.
yeah.
And he goes, apart from that, it was sound.
Was he running, or did he just walk it all?
He run it because he's a fucking lunatic. Do you know when I did 10k a day? I thought it was fresh, thinking doing the 457.
Yeah.
He did a marathon a day and ran it.
For the same month.
Yeah, because he was like, so I did Afghanistan, and he just absolutely threw up the shit out of me. He was like, I'm going to do Iraq, Northern Ireland, and Afghanistan. Screw you, hippie.
I watched a little documentary about someone that was, I say a little documentary, it was a 4-minute video about a guy who was a South African air colonel or something. That's probably not even a thing.
Words.
That's not a rank,
Made
is
chicken,
it?
yeah.
A South African air colonel. But he became like a, I don't know, what's the word, freelancer? What's the word that people use? Mercenary.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Well, it depends what you're trying to, like.
Well, basically, a government or a rebel group or someone would reach out to a company and they would send him to help them.
We like the word contractor nowadays.
Contractor, sorry.
But
Well,
mercenary is probably more.
that's what he was talking about. That, but he'd been to like 8 to 10 different countries. He's just chasing war, isn't he? He just loves the war of it all.
I got a couple of mates that do that.
Why? They just love it.
Good money, for one.
Yeah, but what do you get to spend it on? If you're always just in a war zone.
Realistically,
Yeah.
cocaine and hookers.
Yeah,
But
that's the mercenary life, isn't it?
Yeah,
He was talking about that on the documentary.
Was it?
Yeah, he was saying that everyone
There
just
you go.
thinks that it's just drunken blokes going around shooting stuff. He said, and it's not all that. There are people taking it seriously now. It's suits and briefcases, but it does sound like it's just an absolute mad life.
I think coming out of like peak GWAT, early doors GWAT, 2006, 2007, 2008, people were getting paid upwards of $1,000 a day to go and just fucking sit on radio stag in Baghdad and stuff like that. It was like from Blackwater and people like that. It was insane, the shit that they was getting paid to go and do. And I had a couple of mates that left the service and just jumped straight into that. And a couple of them still do a couple of months on, couple of months off. And just
Would you ever fancy that? Too risky.
There's one thing like going to conflict zones, and there's another thing going to conflict zones with air support and 8,000 mates.
And also, how much at the time, obviously, well, not at the time, but just generally, is there an element of like you feel like you're looking after your country about it? Is that in your head a lot, like you're playing for England, or is it like
No, not
is
really.
that back of your mind stuff?
Not really, but I think there was a lot of instances of people getting shafted working for Blackwater and stuff like that, and also getting fucked up working for Blackwater. Just 4 dudes with fucking weapons in a SUV in the middle of a fucking city that's tearing itself apart.
Yeah.
There's a reason you're getting paid $1,200 a day.
Yeah, because it's
It's actually
horrendous.
recently started. Got sent a couple of websites from one of my mates. Actually, it's kicked off to the point where you can probably go and earn that sort of dough out in Ukraine at the minute.
Really? Well, this guy, it was him, 4 mates. One was a French guy who was just constantly drunk, but they had a helicopter, and they were just like going through Central Africa basically. And they said that the people who they were fighting against said that if they ever caught them, they'd get them and cut their hearts out. So that was like what happens if you get this slightly wrong, or if they shoot you down or whatever. I just can't believe anyone would ever do that.
Pretty terminal, that.
It is absolutely awful, isn't it? I mean, at some point, I think you've probably died doing that, don't you? Or do you think people do it for like 30 years and just get out?
I don't know. It feels like a bit like being a drug dealer, doesn't it? Like you never see retired ones.
No, you just do it until you stop being able to do it. Here's one thing I would like to do on my bucket list. I would like to visit every continent. I'd like to say I've visited every continent on the planet. That'd be good.
What have you got left?
I've got South America, Antarctica, and that might be it. So I've done North America, Europe, Africa, Asia. Yeah, South America and Antarctica, innit? And Australia.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many countries. I'm never going to... I mean, what would be like a decent number? 100? You've done 100
100 countries would be cool. I've not done anywhere near that.
I did try and tally this up not long ago, actually. I've done quite a lot. There's a shitload in Europe.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like, in Africa, I've done, like, 4.
What, North Africa?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
There's just not enough.
No.
Not enough to really know it. Because it's such a big gaff as well.
And what is there, like 60 odd countries in Africa?
Feels like that, yeah.
Let me find out.
I wouldn't mind visiting Ethiopia,
54.
Kenya, people like that. You know, all those proper ones. And then as you get south, Congo's a bit on top maybe, but I wouldn't mind checking them all out.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because they do, I mean, you don't drink coffee, do you? But they do great coffee there as well. It's like sort of Central Africa.
A friend I know that may or may not have been trying to smash the drug manufacturing plants in Colombia.
Why even try? What? I guess someone's got to try, haven't they?
Yeah, it was working for the British Army,
right?
And they was liaising with like local police, and they was asking them to basically go and raid the drug manufacturing plants in Colombia.
Yeah. And
he was a bit of a coffee nerd, and he was getting a bit giddy about all the coffee. And he says, as he was there, someone was like, "Oh, you know, it's illegal to take coffee out of the country." And he's like, "Are you taking the fucking piss? Like, but cocaine's not."
Yeah, you're allowed to do it with the thing that's illegal in every country in the world. You can't take coffee out of Colombia.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So if they can export it themselves, but that's ridiculous.
Don't know. I just thought that's hilarious because like everyone, what do you know about Colombia? Shakira and cocaine, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
And coffee.
Right.
If you're into coffee. Fucking hell. It's just too scary though. I can't be doing any of that. There's a lot of people who've put their bucket list stuff in the comments. Someone said before, what was it?
People who've just been to Medellin actually recently. Brendan Luffney's just been to Medellin for stem cells.
Is that in Colombia?
That's the capital. That's the main gaff in Colombia. Yeah.
Is it? Would you go there?
Colombia?
Yeah.
I don't mind going to Colombia.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. I would. Someone said shark dive in one of those cages. Would you do that? Would you? Do you like water? I can't imagine you're a big swimmer.
Not really.
No. Would you be scared? Are you scared of the sea?
No.
Oh. Do you know those people who pretend they're not scared of the sea, but they're a bit scared of it? I feel like you might be in that category.
I'm not scared of it. I mean, to do an Ironman, I'm going to have to swim open water for 3.5 fucking mile. So, like, you know, I'm not the strongest swimmer.
Yeah.
I can swim, I'm just slow.
Yeah, I'm not good at swimming at all. I got cold shock syndrome once when I did it was a little lake thing for my mum's 60th. We all went to a little lake in Derbyshire, and they all got what's it called, wetsuits and that, and I just thought I'll just bomb in, but it was too cold.
Minus the wetsuit? No wetsuit,
and I just dived straight in, and I can't really
cold
swim
water's
very
real
well. And I was like shivering, like thinking I was going to throw up on the to get my ex-girlfriend, who was like 5'1", I had to lay on her chest, and she was like giving it all that like safety swim back to the side, and just put me on the side, and I was like, I'm going to be sick for like an hour. It was one of the most embarrassed I've ever been in my life. It was absolutely horrendous.
Cold water's real.
It is actually.
Cold water's real.
I always thought, don't you see the Titanic and you're like, they're milking it a bit. They're not. Honestly, I wouldn't have even lasted as long as them. I wouldn't have even got to that.
There was literal icebergs in the water.
Yeah, it was that cold.
Pretty fucking cold.
Think how cold a gin and tonic is. It's that cold.
It's that cold, yeah.
Maybe even colder because the salt water means that the boiling temperature, the freezing temperature is lower. Could have been below zero, that. Christ. Someone said climb Kilimanjaro. You must have a few mountains on the list. We were talking about Mont Blanc potentially.
I will do Mont Blanc. I am certain I'll do Mont Blanc. As for any of those 8,000 bastards,
yeah.
Like,
how many is there? 17 of them or something in there?
14, I think.
Is it?
I don't think I would do Everest. One, I don't like queues. So, and Everest is just a fucking queue of people wearing 20 grand's worth of fucking hiking gear.
Yeah.
And a couple of them probably fucking on the way out as they're standing there as well.
Yeah.
It's just a shit show, innit? Like, if you go and have a look, just Google Everest queue and just be like, why would I want to stand in that? I'd rather do one of the other ones like K2 that's like really dangerous, but there's no fucker on there.
Yeah,
like that's more my vibe.
Off.
Yeah.
But at least with that,
you can run up it and down the bastard.
But at least the queue though gives you an indication that you can be a living human being up there. K2 is just like, What's the other one that's the really bad one?
The one in Pakistan now.
Yeah.
I think they're like, you've got an 80% death rate on it or something like that.
I can't remember.
That's ballsy, that. I mean,
Yeah.
K2 is like, I think like 1 in 3 get injured.
Annapurna.
Yeah.
Annapurna 1.
K2, I think it's like 1 in 3, 1 in 6 don't make it.
Yeah.
But I'm a dick, so I'd be like, I fancy those odds.
Yeah.
The one in Pakistan can fucking sling it. I'm not doing that.
No, it's 8,000 metres as well, so it's one of them.
Give it 10 years though. There'll be 3,000 people climbing.
To find a way
just
to do
because, yeah. They'll put some permanent shit in there and get it dealt with.
Mount McKinley's a good one in North America, yeah. That's the highest peak in North America. But so with Mount Everest, you start like 4,000 metres up. Yeah. But with Mount McKinley, you start at the bottom. You basically, the journey is from the sea level almost. The distance you actually cover climbing is bigger than Everest.
All right.
So you're climbing for more than you are with Everest. So that's meant to be really hard to say it's only 6,000 metres.
Well, like when you do like something like Penny Fan, you only climb, your vertical elevation is about 400 metres.
Yeah.
So to replicate climbing Everest, you need to summit that and bottom it out again 20 times or more than 20 times, like 22 times.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
But apparently you can do the to base camp Everest thing, can't you?
That's literally just a walk.
Yeah, but it's the thing. It's like 4,000 meters though.
Yeah, but it's like pretty good weather and that. It's not. It's like 4,000 meters to Everest base camp is not the same as 4,000 meters to the peak of Mont Blanc.
No, that's true. That would be good though. Mont Blanc would be really good.
Climbing a big bastard mountains on there. Mont Blanc's probably. I don't know what's in between like your Mont Blancs and your 8,000ers.
Well, Mont Blanc's
there's nothing on the top of my head.
Just under 5,000 meters, so it's pretty juicy. Kilimanjaro, that's a relatively easy big
old
boy.
people do that one though, don't they?
Yeah.
Old people aren't doing Mont Blanc.
No, that's
Is
true.
Mont Blanc biggest in Europe?
Yeah. So Kilimanjaro is 5,800, so just under 6,000. So it's absolutely massive, but it's basically just a hill with a flat top that you can walk up in 4 days.
Dead big one.
Just a really, really big hill, which is obviously not fun, but relatively doable. Adam Kenny says McKinney has the highest prominence in the world, which I think is that from
the bottom to the top.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Like of actual walkable, because a lot of Everest is within a mountain range, so it's already elevated. Being on Mont Blanc, not at the top, says Santa Notch. That's interesting. Let's get back to this list. Actually, did you see? You saw that Salah and Van Dijk have extended Liverpool, didn't you?
Yeah.
I know you don't want to talk about football, but that is slightly gutting, isn't it?
Yeah, because 2 years, we were talking about this earlier, but 2 years is a real sensible sort of extension, isn't it?
Yeah. How old are they both?
See, United would have done them for like a fucking 5-year deal or something.
Yeah. Well, we would have given them a 5-year deal last year, so it would have taken them to like 35, 36, and they'd be playing shit now because they'd think in their head, I'm past it, and I've got this big deal, I don't need to worry about it. Whereas Salah's just had one of his best, or he's having one of his best ever seasons, probably partly because his deal was running out. So he's 32, he'll be 33 in January, and Van Dijk is 33 now, will be 34 in July. So he's a little bit older, but they're both still world class, aren't they, you've got to say. Do you worry about United's chances of ever getting good again?
No.
Do you think we will?
Yeah, I don't know how long it'll take though.
It could be 30 years, couldn't it? From 10 years, like, we're looking
in
at Liverpool,
total?
Yeah.
Nearly halfway there.
I know. Fucking hell. I'm really... you watch games like yesterday, you just think... I thought, 3 months ago, I thought, the keeper's not great, but we'll be, we'll be all right. He might be second on the list now after a striker. Like, it keeps changing what we need because everyone's just so bad. Right, look at this. Go on a wildlife safari in Tanzania.
Yeah, I'd do that.
That'd be good.
Is it my bucket list though? I'm not for, that's like, do you fancy going for a pizza? Yeah, I do.
I feel like it's a bit more than a pizza though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite a big pizza, that. But also, when you go to a wildlife thing, how much bigger is it than a zoo? Because
some of them safaris are proper, but the thing is, you want the dangerous ones.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah,
otherwise,
you do.
it's shit.
Because also, just it's like 600 acres. You think, well, that's quite big, but if you've got 200 lions in it, we're going to see a lion. I'd rather see a wild one, but then it might just jump on the thing and rip your neck
Yeah,
off.
because you see people setting like the bonnets on them and stuff.
Yeah. And I sort of think like, it's like going, obviously it's not, but when you go to like Woburn Safari Park, you don't say you've been on safari really, do you? Because you drove through the lion enclosure. Some of the
and this is it.
safaris
because
just like that.
because this is the 19th fucking safari today that came through the place. This isn't like going exploring the gaff in the 1800s or the early 1900s when it was genuinely wild.
Yeah.
It's just
now they've got they're eating
everything's
Krispy Kremes and
nerfed
stuff.
up, man.
I know everything is a bit nerfed up, innit?
It's like, you know, there's people like Leveson Wood and stuff like that. They're going out there, explorers and adventurers and stuff like that. And you're like, how?
Who is that?
He's an adventurer.
Is that a modern day adventurer?
An explorer.
Is he?
Yeah. Just talks about it, wrote a load of books. The books are really good. But you're like, what are you exploring?
Yeah.
I mean, apart from like some of the jungles, we've seen the lot of the Congo and the Amazon's like the only gaffs where we go, I don't know.
Yeah, no one
Out at the bottom of the ocean, and no one wants to go there. So like, what are you exploring?
It is a bit of a shame, innit? We've done most of it now. Because like people were getting to we're only like 100 years too late. Because people were still finding like there's just a whole country there, like a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, and Victorians would be like taking trunks worth of shit with them as well to go and explore that. So they weren't backpacking it.
No, they were taking the lot, weren't
They were probably doing some other, pretty egregious shit as well at the same time.
Yeah, coming back with the Elgin marbles
carving
and
those
stuff.
countries up and making them fight each other.
But yeah, it does feel as though you do stuff and it's kind of like you're doing the tourist free, easy version of it all. But I suppose that's just life, innit?
This is what I'm saying, that you want to go for real adventure. Skydiving.
Yeah, that is real.
Yeah.
That's why doing the fitness stuff's good, because you actually have to do
it's
it
real,
yourself.
yeah.
You can't fake it, can you?
No.
If you do
You don't get a
250
safari
kilometres-
version of a marathon.
No.
You do the fucking marathon.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't it funny the first person who did it died? When he
What
legged
weight
it.
on him though?
What?
What weight on him?
Yeah, the millions and millions. That's one of the greatest like feats of physical achievement ever. The fact that he ran from Marathon to Athens or vice versa, whatever it was, Marathon to Rome, sorry. And
I think it was marathon to Athens.
was it? Yeah, okay. And died, and then now probably tens of millions of people have basically like replicated his feat. Nothing else has been
On one hand, it's absolutely having his pants down in it.
It is. Yeah. Now people are doing it dressed as like, Pudsey.
A rhino and that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not fun.
Oh, doing it with a fridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so that guy died doing it,
Yeah.
and now we're going to do it dressed as a fireman
Yeah. We're going to do it to get our nan a new sofa.
for fun.
Yeah, it is a bit mad, isn't it? Brian Kevill says, was up Mont Blanc, head spinning. That's interesting. Brian Kevill, who comments quite a bit, has done Mont Blanc. That freaks me out a bit. The idea of the altitude sickness and like feeling dizzy and sick when you're that high up and you're on like slopes and stuff. Some
of the videos from Mont Blanc, especially if you go, I think it's in snow, fucking 6 or 7 months of the year, isn't it? Because it's very high up.
Yeah.
Some of the videos from it are gnarly.
Yeah, they are. Because I got a bit scared on one of the paths up. What's it called? What's it called in Scotland?
Nevis.
Yeah.
There's a fucking path,
No,
Joseph.
I know, but one part of the path had like a sort of 15-foot drop down the side. And I thought, if I fall down that, I'm going to twist the living daylights out of my ankle. And then I saw this, and we were like, let's do Mont Blanc one day, or like in autumn or something. And I was looking at it, I was thinking, that's higher than Ben
I do need
Nevis,
to do
isn't it?
National Free Peaks in one day. I haven't done
That's
that.
doable.
Well, obviously, fucking loads of people
That's
do
meant
it.
to be hard, though.
Straightforward.
Yeah, straightforward, but strenuous.
Yeah, it's strenuous. I actually think the Yorkshire Three Peaks is harder, though.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of. Because there's no stop between
Yeah,
them,
you
so-
get like a 4 or 5 hour stop in between, Scotland, England, Wales, because you're driving. So you're resting and eating and fueling and napping, probably.
Yeah.
Whereas, the Yorkshire one, I think that takes 10, 12 hours. And it's just three peaks in that time. No rest.
Yeah, walking from one to one to one. Yeah, that's hard.
Is it Knaresborough, Ingleborough? Is it Ingleborough? I can't remember the fucking names of them now. Ingleborough's definitely one of them.
What is it? I've got it here. 3 Peaks. Oh, it's an actual event. It's a fell race held annually the last week in April. There you go.
You can just go fucking do it whenever.
Yeah, fair enough. The Yorkshire 3 Peaks. It's Ingleborough, Whernside, and Pen y Ghent.
That's the one.
There you go. See, none of them are higher than 730 metres though, but just doing it non-stop is pretty tough.
Well, yeah, they're not the highest peak. It's Scafell Pike's the highest one in England.
Yeah, is that the Peak District?
Yes.
Is it? Happy says, my bucket list is to survive Trump deportation. That'd be pretty rough if you're getting deported at the minute, wouldn't it? I'd hate that.
Just got Trump impressions in my head.
Yeah, I can't believe what is going on over there.
Big Booty Latinas get to stay.
Yeah, he's doing what he wants, isn't he? What about Mars? That's a good one.
What about Mars?
Would you like to go? Because how long you got left? Life-wise. Not for the pod. Life-wise, probably 40 years? Thereabouts?
I don't know, 10 years cruising on Red Bull.
Okay, let's say 30 years then. That's 75 or so. How old are you?
41.
Okay, so that's, you've got 30 years minimum. So in 30 years...
How many years is there?
In what?
Just wrap this shit up, you know what I mean?
I know. He gets to a point where you think, what else can I do? I mean, I don't think that yet, but you've had kids and that, haven't you? So...
that accelerates it.
Yeah, you got 30 years. I think humans will have travelled to Mars in that time. Probably.
Yeah, but you got to have to deal with Elon Musk, and that's a fucking nose, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's not going to be like stamping your ticket at the rocket, is he?
You know that?
No.
You guarantee that?
No, I can't guarantee it because he likes to put his face out everywhere, doesn't he?
He'll be there.
But that would be something that's genuinely new. They haven't safaried that yet. Go to Mars, colonise it. You, Janine, take the kids. You're off to Mars. You're not coming back. Would you do it?
Nah.
Your nearest neighbour's 2 million miles away.
You make a compelling case, but it's cold and
no, because we've bubbled you off.
Have we though?
Well, there's a leak in the bubble.
Yeah,
and
of course there is. I've seen all of those films.
I know.
Matt Damon one's very good.
Yeah, you can't. I think I would. I don't know if I would do that. I don't love flying.
Wait. In the short period of time that I've known you,
yes,
you taking the beaches on Mars doesn't feel like a thing.
I'm not storming them. There's no Martians there to fight against. Well, there might be. No, maybe not Mars. I would like to do that thing where you go just to space and come back down. I'd like to see the curvature of the Earth.
Do you know, I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this,
list.
so that's definitely fucking real.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, all of those little schnurks that have gone up just enough is like, they ain't gone up far enough. He's like, you have to be like International Space Station to see the curvature. He goes, every fucking one of those that has gone like that, and even the ones that get weightless, they haven't gone up high enough to see the curve. And you're like, no shit.
That's how big Earth is, isn't it? So, okay, well, I'd do that. Would you visit the International Space Station? Would you like to go to space? That's pretty epic, that. Genuinely.
I would like to, for my own thingy, to go, because I do not believe the Earth is flat.
No.
When every fucking thing in the observable universe is spherical, there's no way we're sitting on a big fucking dinner plate. It doesn't make any level of sense on anything. So just for my own satisfaction to be like, yeah, I thought it was round.
Yeah.
Which is mental that you have to even preface that in 2025, isn't it? When people figured this out 2,000 years ago based on the shadows, and when, do you know when they did that? I think it was the Greeks.
Yeah, it was.
They were pretty smart fellas then.
Yeah, they were.
Or fart smellers, whichever one. But they went, at midday, the sun's got like a little bit of a peaky out here, but it don't have a peaky out here when we're back at home. And then they calculated it. Do you know they were like 7,500 kilometres out, and that's it? In terms of when they went, we reckon the Earth is like 44,000 fucking kilometres in circumference. And they were like 75,000 or 7,500 off. Like, they were like a fraction off.
Bloody hell. Yeah, because the two sticks in the ground, the shadows look slightly different in different places, obviously, because the sun's rays hitting them slightly differently. That is mad that we knew it then and people now. But the amount of people that you see, those videos of flat earthers, realising that it's round. Or like
the sense. The one where they're like,
best.
The one where they go, if we have, so they have these like Fomex boards with a hole in them, and the hole is like 4 feet above the ground. And they're like, right, we've got one here, we've got a big fucking laser, and we're going to put one like 1 degree away so it's like enough to see the curvature from.
Yep.
And he's like, if we can't see the laser at ground level, we know there's a curve in the Earth. Yeah. And then he's like, right, shine it. He's like, are you shining it? We ain't got anything. And he was like, hold it up above your head. I got it. It's the realisation in his voice, isn't it? Just and there's another thing as well. They have a gyroscope. So they're like, so the Earth, I think it's 15 degrees an hour that it rotates round. Right. And they're like, right, so we should be seeing about 15 degrees of rotation on this gyroscope that we've got. And they were like, So the gyroscope's broke, and they're like, why is it broken? They're like, well, it's got a bit of a drift on it. And like, how much drift has it got? It's like, 15 degrees an hour.
There's so many ways to prove it. There's so many ways to prove it, and there's no reason to fake it.
They can't explain why water spins one way on one side of the road in Kenya versus the other, because it's on the opposite sides of the equator. The way the stars are on the south side of the hemisphere versus the north side of the hemisphere.
None of it makes sense.
The one thing that does baffle me about the whole space thing, and I guess it's just the sheer fucking size of the bastard, is that. So the sun isn't just sat there like this.
No.
There's going to be a scientist sitting at home watching this going, fuck me, Steve.
Yeah.
All right, but the sun isn't just sitting there like that. The sun is fucking hurtling through space at whatever fucking 1,000 mile an hour, right? And everything is corkscrewing around it like that as it goes. Yet we see the same constellations, obviously on a procession, on a bit of a wobble, every 12 months. That's madness to me.
Yeah.
That hasn't really changed.
That is mad. I don't really know. And so I don't know how to explain that, obviously. Another thing I was thinking about the other day, and this is probably just me being an absolute idiot, but like, do you know how obviously seasons are basically the Earth tilting to and from the sun, aren't they? I think that's right. So in some of the Earth, our bit of the Earth is tilted towards it. Why is it like today can be 20 degrees, and then you can have a sunny day tomorrow that it feels like it's the same, but it's 14 degrees? Why does the sun not sort of permeate the atmosphere the same way every time?
I think it's just the air pressure.
Is it?
I think it's down to the difference in air pressure. And again, there's the meteorologist sitting at home going, "You fucking idiots!"
Yeah. But I just think, like, why can it go up by 10 degrees in a day? We're facing the sun's still there.
It's also the angle that it hits.
Yeah.
Like as it gets as you get to the more northerly regions, I guess southerly regions.
Yeah.
I guess it's not, and that's why it's not quite hitting you at the same sort of like fucking angle. Whereas all the equator just gets cooked because it's
blasted
just
all the
flat.
time.
And like have some of that, it's like.
Yeah. That is what they say. Right, let's get back to this.
Tune in next week for some absolute fucking 5-year-old level fucking science with Ste Joe.
Yeah, exactly. No, here's one thing I do want to talk about. You must have spoken about this on XG Files, because one thing I would like to see in person is the pyramids. You've seen this shit under the pyramids. Is this real?
I think there's only one person that said this. I don't know if this has been like quantified by people, but supposedly, what are they? How many kilometers is it, or 600 meters underneath the pyramids?
Let me find it. It's something like 600 metres, isn't it?
I don't think we have spoken about it on XG Files.
Have you not?
No.
So, for people who haven't seen this, I'm sure most people have, but it was basically, I think it was the end of March, so it's a couple of weeks ago now, but I've been away. And a lot of people have always said, like, there's something mad going on around the pyramids, obviously, etc., just how were they built and all that sort of stuff. But they've essentially hit the pyramids with a radar and hit underneath the pyramids with a radar. And they claim that the radar images show massive vertical shafts, spiral staircases, and channels.
And a void as well.
And channels resembling pipelines for water, and a hidden world of structures more than 610 meters below the surface. That apparently the legendary Hall of Records and report. Well, this is just guessing what it could be, what could be under there. But basically, there's massive shafts of up to around 600 meters underneath the pyramids, and a whole host of stuff going on underneath that. And like you said, it's only one sort of lot of people have conducted these experiments. I don't think they've been, verified by other
Someone was
scientists.
drawing comparisons with the shape of Angkor Wat, and someone's also looked at what like microprocessors might be, and there's a bit of a similarity between like Angkor Wat's sort of layout and what like batteries and shit like that could be. That would be fascinating if there was some sort of energy generated by these places.
Because us talking about this literally sounds like we've gone mental, doesn't it? Like the ancient Egyptians made like a giant battery, and the pyramid is like the plus fucking node on it. And like,
what's crazier, that or the fact that they decided to just build these bastards for nothing?
Yeah.
Think about the resources required.
Well,
at the time.
The weird thing with the pyramids is they don't put pharaohs in them, do they? All the pharaohs are in the Valley of the Kings. They're not. It's not like a tomb for like the most highly ranking people.
No.
It's just like noble women and it's not like this is where fucking wherever.
Dave was or whatever.
Yeah, this isn't the resting place of the big boys. So it was there for something.
Yeah, and the similarities from the fact that it's like geometrically aligned to north, south, east, and west within like a degree.
Yeah.
The fact that like there's some incredible geometry going on at it. The Sphinx is a weird one as well because like the proportions of it make no fucking sense.
Yeah.
But they would if it was a lion.
Yeah.
Like complete sense if it was just a full lion head.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And if it was, I think from the time that they think it was built, it would be looking at the constellation of Leo as well, which is like quite interesting. We just don't have a fucking clue.
No, we don't.
And then you throw Göbekli Tepe into the mix, where there's all these mad fucking like stone carvings, and it's like 10, 15,000 years further back than they thought people were fucking with any sort of carvings and stuff.
What have
They
you seen
thought
with
people
that
were
as
just
well?
hunter-gatherers at the time.
With that, they've said, yeah, we think there's probably way more of this knocking about like around it, but we're not going to excavate any of that for like 20 years. I think it's like 2035 or something where they're going to go back in.
There's that much to look at Göbekli Tepe. But there's about 10 different tepes in Turkey alone. And that's before you get into Iraq. Iran has got some of these fucking mad historical sites as well, but you just don't hear about them. Like, we haven't got a clue. And then that's before you start getting into the fucking Amazon jungle and all that sort of caper.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have smashed it a bit as a species, haven't we?
And then, what's under Antarctica?
Oh, I don't even know.
Because have you seen them Perry Reese maps?
What, at Nando's?
No. So there's a geezer called Perry Reese who made maps. Now on his maps he says these maps reference much older maps. That they're not my maps, but I've referenced this one and this one and this one.
Yeah.
It's got fucking Antarctica on his map in the right shape with rivers on it, and then we've like radared it and gone, well, that's pretty fucking accurate. And it's like 500 years before we even knew Antarctica was there, supposedly.
Good, isn't it? Isn't it good stuff like this?
Antarctica might be the last gaff. So I saw something that they've figured out. There's
gaff with Stephen Howson, National Geographic.
There's all sorts of minerals, and I think maybe lithium, but also like oil and all sorts of shit under Antarctica. Antarctica's about to get some freedom, boy.
I know. I'm surprised that they've not done that yet. But no one's allowed to own it, are they, Antarctica?
Yeah, give it 5 minutes. Trump's just going to be like, dibs.
Yeah. It is mad. And the pyramid stuff is... I love that there's such a mystery around it. I love stuff like that. And the fact that it's like... It was the biggest building or biggest, tallest structure in the world for 2,000 years.
It's all about fucking 100 years ago.
Well, do you know what broke the record?
Empire State Building?
Nope. Lincoln Cathedral.
What?
It was pyramids, Lincoln Cathedral. And then Lincoln Cathedral had it for about 200 years. But that was the tallest structure and tallest building in the world for a long time.
So yeah, the resources required, not even 2,000 years ago, because it could be 5,000-6,000 years ago, looking at the state of the thing. Like, the resources required to build that. And the thing is, like, they still don't know, well, was it slaves or was it artisans? Was it a combination of both? Yeah. Was it skilled labour? Was it forced labour? They don't have a fucking clue. Like, they're literally just guessing at all sorts of stuff. And that's the other thing is, they've made all these hieroglyphs of everything except how they built it.
Why didn't they do that?
Because the fuckers who made the hieroglyphs probably didn't build the bastard.
Yeah.
It's just graffiti.
Because also, it's like the whole thing of Cleopatra was born closer to the invention of the iPhone than the pyramids. So what we think of as ancient Egypt is actually 1,500 years later than ancient or some of ancient Egypt. So why would they know about it? Yeah. Like now, if you're trying to find out like how something was built in 12 AD in England, you won't be able to find that. And obviously they're much more advanced. But that was what they were then, and we're 2,000 years on from that.
Without fucking Google and ChatGPT, you tell me what happened around here 2,000 years ago.
No one knows.
Not a fucking
Probably
scoop.
We accidentally invented cheese at some point, but no one really knows how. Indradil says, lads, there's so much in India, so much old stuff that's cool. That would be cool. I'd like to go to India. That's definitely on my bucket list. What countries would you still like to see?
Argentina.
Yeah. What you want to do there? Patagonia and that?
Let's say that, yeah.
Patagonia, indeed.
The mountains, the football, and the steaks.
Yeah.
I could be Argentinian.
Yeah.
I like my football. I like my steaks.
Yeah. I think it's the biggest average attendance in the world as well, isn't it?
Is it? Did you see that their fucking crazy arsehole Prime Minister was like, I'm going to release all of the fucking secret information and Adolf Hitler actually did make it here after the war. Wait, what?
When did you say that?
Like last week.
What, Hitler knocked up Argentina?
Yeah. Well, so you know the whole
just say that.
You know the whole story about he killed himself in the bunker, right?
Yeah.
Do you know the skull or the body that the Ruskies put forward for that was a woman's?
Shit.
And the height of the Cold War, you can't really call them out on it, like fuckery afoot, straight off the bat.
That's the sort of thing as well, in it, where you can't know where his body is. I understand why they can't, because you can't have it. You can't have a place where you go and visit it. But then also, if you just go, yeah, we got him, he's at sea, buried at sea, that also feels way too open for people to be like, no, he's not. Because like Bin Laden's another one in it where he was just buried at sea, wasn't he?
Yes.
I think there's video of him being killed, so that's slightly different. But
I'm not sure there's video.
I don't think that we've seen. I think it does exist. Yeah. I think Obama saw it. Was it Obama? It was, wasn't it? I think he saw it. But yeah, I always think like, with Hitler, you think with Mussolini, we've seen it. Hitler, who knows what happened there?
Well, yeah, I think it's a bit. If all of the senior Nazis was getting out and getting to Argentina, and the main one didn't, and then the Russians lied about him killing himself in his bunker, or at least lied about.
Well, they said that his body was burned afterwards, didn't they? I think they burned his body.
Yeah.
I think they should have kept it. Should have kept it, shouldn't they?
Mad, that, innit?
It is mad.
Mad that, like, 2025, someone's like, it's the prize, fuckers.
Yeah.
Like, and just pulls that out of nowhere.
It is a bit.
Because there's been loads of rumours and suspected, like, Hitler probably actually got to, I mean, he's dead now for sure, but got to Argentina. He's like, no.
Why did they all go to Argentina? Why was that the place?
They love steaks and football and Patagonia.
The brand Patagonia. They love the lifetime warranty on Patagonia stuff. I always think that it's always like South America, Argentina. But why though? Why did they go there? Someone must know.
Don't know.
Very interesting.
It was quite fascistic, wasn't it? Even though they spoke Espanol.
That's a good point. Yeah, apparently the dictator invited them, according to Gurpreet Gill, and Miles says the Catholic Church. So there's all sorts of things going on here that's probably libelous. Right, should we wrap it up?
You can't libel the dead.
That's true. Is that dictator dead? I hope so.
If he invited Hitler around,
the JFK stuff, didn't they say they were going to release the JFK files? Trump said that. And did they release them and there was just nothing in them? But so what happened with that?
Don't know.
Because I honestly think that Lee Harvey Oswald probably just killed him. Because if not, why wouldn't, when they released the files, nothing came of it?
Joseph.
Do you think he didn't?
No.
Well, let's have a little chat then. What do you think happened?
I think he was opposing certain things.
Yes.
He was against certain generals. He was against a lot that Israel was trying to achieve. And he was quite vocal about it. And there was some other stuff. There's some major stuff that I'm missing out on here that he was trying to break up.
Was it Cuba? That's the vibe.
Banking. Yeah. I think there was some stuff in terms of banking. I can't quite remember off the top of my head what that was. The actions of Lee Harvey Oswald don't kind of ring true for someone who's just shot the fucking president.
But so what would you expect? So what did he do? So he left the book depository and just basically went for a walk, didn't he?
Went for a fucking can of Coke in the canteen of the. He was seen like sitting there with a can of Coke, and they were like, "There he is," and he's like, "What?"
But then he goes to is in like
a cinema,
and then he shoots a police officer or two when they try and get him, don't they?
I'm not sure that's the case.
Oh, right. I thought he shot someone else. Interesting.
And then there was loads of eyewitnesses saying like they were heard multiple gunshots, and like I can't remember if it's like the weird bullet theory that they've got. They found one of the bullets and it's got no fucking marks on it, and there's a lot of fuckery around it.
I think they've probably tried to hide stuff or tweak stuff.
Well, it's like 9/11, right? There's not a fucking chance that went off the way that they said. Not a fucking chance.
I think that that's the case with almost every major disaster mission, whatever it may be. They give you their version of the events. But I don't think that means that everything they say is a lie, or that the entire thing is made up.
I think that planes got flown into the towers, because I know there's some people go, it was holograms. No,
that's bollocks.
I'm pretty sure that planes... Without being there, I'm pretty certain planes got flown into the towers.
Yeah.
I am not sure that a plane flew into the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure that planes flew into what?
It's just good stuff, innit?
I'm also pretty sure that there was fuck all wrong with Building 7.
Yeah.
And that was a 1,000,000%, I would put my entire life on that being a controlled demolition. I would also put my entire life on the 2 towers being controlled demolitions. Now, there might have been reasons why they were, they might have just been pre-rigged and they were like, look, if anything ever happens to these, we can fucking drop them. Rather than have them collapse and hit other buildings and like cause even more damage, they're pre-rigged so they fall within their own footprint, and they might have gone, that would like be a better scenario than them fucking toppling.
Right.
But we can't tell people that if that's the case. That might be a scenario that played out on the day, perhaps. But they got fucking dropped. They fell at free fall speed. They were fucking demolished. They did not fall under their own steam.
It's mad that they just completely fell 0 to 60. Like, they didn't, like, nothing snapped off. They didn't lean. They didn't, one bit fell and the rest of it stayed up.
They were gone in 9 seconds.
That is so mad, isn't it? Do you remember watching it on telly?
Yeah.
We got sent home from school because it was like as it was going on.
It was and if I'd have known what that would have led to in the fucking realities of the rest of my life.
So how old were you when that happened? 2001.
I was 18. No, 17.
And you knew you wanted. Had you joined the army yet?
No, I delayed my entry. So I got a contract to play rugby, and delayed my entry until that contract was up. I got released by Salford, and same day went to the careers office. I was like, can I pick up that application?
And so when you joined, did you know what war you were going to be going to?
No, because Afghanistan had started, but hadn't actually fucking done anything. They'd hunted the caves, hadn't they? Remember, there was a bit of a cave, Bora Bora and stuff like that in 2001, and then it wasn't anything. And then I joined in 2002. I was finishing my basic training in 2003 when we went and did a little bit of an exercise in the Persian Gulf, and then we shock and awed the shit out of Iraq. Because that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
2 fellas paid for by a Saudi. Oh, by the way, Bin Laden initially didn't accept responsibility for it, and then later accepted responsibility for it, supposedly, but also never publicly accepted responsibility for it.
Interesting, isn't it?
It's a fuckery. Like, how much have we just been... Because you'd be like, Bin Laden did 9/11.
Yeah, that's just standard, isn't it?
But did he?
Probably. Well, not him.
Supposedly, he didn't even know. He didn't know that it was happening. Like, he wasn't aware of it. Like, there's another guy that did.
Right.
That orchestrated
From
it.
Al-Qaeda.
Yeah. But Bin Laden didn't know about it, supposedly. So there's a book I've just read called Pride and Fall, which is about the war in Afghanistan. I went and watched a talk with a geezer. And at the start of his book, he's like, Bin Laden never actually said he did this.
That's mental, isn't it? And he just became the face of terrorism, didn't he? That was the face of.
Think about how they went and
terrorism.
got him, and I think that they did go and get him. I absolutely believe the way that mission went down is exactly how that mission went down. Yeah. But the fact that he was a fucking mile away from Pakistan's version of West Point is mental.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Just in his house.
Yeah.
Where he'd been for ages.
Obviously, there was a lot of tradecraft going on in terms of, like, wasn't using a phone, wasn't connected to the internet, was clearly fucking trying not to be found. But, I mean, Jesus Christ, Geezer was like 10 years deep on a world hide and seek champion.
Yeah.
What?
I think that's a good place to end it, isn't it? Right, thank you very much for joining us. Watch along Sunday. You're doing a review in that?
Yeah.
It's Ethan's last day. He's going to be on the watch along with us.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking Geordie's, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Feel free to join us.
Do you know, do the people, Mandem, know where you're going?
Yeah, I announced it on the news this morning, so for anyone who wasn't watching the news, it will be Ethan's last day on Sunday. He's going to be heading over and joining Stephen Tries for his podcast there. It's upsetting, isn't it?
Loser.
Yeah, real sad stuff. But yeah, check out the watch along on Sunday because Ethan's going to be on the show with us as we demolish Newcastle and sack Ethan before he can quit. Unbelievable stuff.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. If we win, we'll sack him. If we lose, he's definitely getting sacked.
I like that.
Win-win.
I like that.
See you in a bit.